right, everyone. We're going to go through editing today. So let me just push out the slides. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, that should be good. All right. So welcome to the Sector English class. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus a little bit on editing today and composition and as well as current affairs. Right, let me just go through the editing. So I hope you guys have already tried this. All right, there will be 8 errors and 2 errors. So it's going to be 12 lines. All right, the first and last lines are correct. However, for the 8 of the lines, there is 1 grammatical error and there are 2 lines with no grammatical error. So if you have not done this worksheet, please pause this video so that you can go and have an attempt at this worksheet, because it will not benefit you if you're just listening to me going through the answer. Have a go at it and then come back to this video so that I can go through the answers. Yeah. All right, so let's start with this. When I got my first computer, I was ecstatic, as most of my friends had. Let me do this. That's better. Alrighty, sorry guys. All right, when I first got my first computer, I was ecstatic. Most of my friends had one, and I was among the last few to get a computer. All right. The day it arrived, I spent the entire day. The day it arrived. So this is past tense. All right. I was ecstatic. So if you look at this, I was already by the first line, you have established that this is past tense. So you always use the first line to establish the tense. All right. Most of the time. So the day it arrived. So you know this is supposed to be a tense. The answer is supposed to be arrived. And what is the error? It is a tense error. All right, so these answers, the word arrived and these errors itself are going to change. What is not going to change is the type of errors, which is what we're going to focus. The date arrived to spend the entire day by my father's side, trying to figure out how it worked. Okay, so second line, there is no error. All right, sorry. No error, but the third one is working becomes worked. This is also a tense error. All right, third one. And I had to use, in school, there were lessons conducted in the computer laboratory, and I had used one before. Every time you use the word had, this has to be a past tense. It can't be a present perfect tense. It cannot be a present tense. So I had used. Again, this is a tense as well. A lot of tense errors here. All right. I begged my father to download. All right. This is called the infinitive to. Whenever you see the word to, any verb that comes after the word to, it has to be in the base form. So it's like, I want to go and to play, to sing. You won't say to playing, to singing. All right. So to download. All right. So this is a word form error. The word is correct, download, but the form is base form. All right. And the next one, there was online games that were enabled. To me, there was many online games. So because this is games, sorry, I should have done that separately. Because this is games, you know this is plural. This has to be there were. So this is a subject-verb agreement, SVA. Error. All right, let's do the next one. To keep in touch with my friends even after school, my mother immediately, no error in this one. All right, being restrict me on the use. Already we know began restricting. So right word, wrong form. All right, restricting. All right, began restricting. So it's a tense error, yeah, continuous tense. I could only thought about, I could only think about. Tense as well. Realize that this and scold me for not paying attention. Scolded, also a tense error. So if you look at this entire worksheet, there were tense errors, there was 1 subject-verb agreement, and there was 1 word form error. So especially in Sector, your errors tend to be a little bit more tense-focused. But what you need to know is that getting the answers, knowing which is what went wrong is important, but also knowing how to correct them is wrong. And one way to familiarize yourself is to actually look at the first sentence and the last sentence. So tip number 1, read through the whole passage first before correcting any one of them. All right, I hope you got that. So that was editing exercise. Now we're going to continue with the second part of the thing, which is composition descriptive. All right. So for descriptive composition, what you want to do is define keywords. All right. And you want to relate the keywords to personal experiences. Example, developing a relatable storyline. So the descriptive essay is a genre. This is how you pronounce the word genre of essay that asks the student to describe something, either an object, person, place, experience, emotion, or a situation. So most of the time they're asking you to describe something, hence descriptive essay. This genre encourages the student's ability to create a written account of a particular experience. What is more is that this genre allows for a great deal of artistic freedom, all right, which is to paint an image. I love this choice of word. What you want to do is you're not writing, you're painting an image that is vivid and moving. This is very important. In descriptive writing, what you're doing, let me write this in green right now. You're transporting the reader into your world. I repeat, you're transporting the reader into your world through your writing. So if I'm going to say she walked in, she sat down, no big deal. But if you're going to describe it, even as she took every step, I could smell the waft of perfume as she entered. And as she, with every step, the skirt that she was wearing was swaying. And tick tock, I could hear the heels tapping on that marble floor. And before I could even see her, you could smell the perfume. So you're creating this image, you're painting a very vivid image. So that's what's important. Yeah. All right, one might benefit from keeping in mind a simple maximum. If the reader is unable to clearly form an impression of the thing that you're describing, try again. So you're transporting the reader into your world. All right, so that is a good way of remembering. Alrighty, let me just go through this. All right, so there are a few ways, basically 7 ways here that they are teaching. What are the 7 ways? Firstly, take time to brainstorm. Use clear and concise language. Choose vivid language. Use your senses. What were you thinking? Leave the reader with a clear impression and be organized. We're going to spend some time going through each of the 7 steps, all right? So take step number 1. What do you mean by take time to brainstorm? This is very important because failing to plan is planning to fail, all right? So what I mean by taking the time to instruct is, if your instructor asks you to describe your favorite food, make sure that you jot down ideas before you begin. So planning is key. For instance, if you choose pizza, you must start writing down a few words: sauce, cheese, crust, pepperoni. So this is all the related vocabulary. Once you've written down some words, you can begin by compiling descriptive lists for each one. All right. Next one, use clear and concise language. This means that the words are chosen carefully, and particularly for their relevancy in relation to which you are intending to describe. All right. So the purpose of the descriptive writing is to use precise language to describe an event. All right. For example, instead of saying found out, you can say discovered. Instead of saying run into, you can say encountered. Instead of repeated use of the word scientists, you can say researchers, biologists. So using descriptive languages and very precise language is very, very good. So this is the key word, yeah, precise language. All right, do use specific vocabulary as much as possible. So different themes have different types of words. For example, if you're going to describe, say, a picture in something in the kitchen, so you're going to use words like cutleries, crockeries, kitchen hood, kitchen, plates, dinnerware. But if you're going to describe a scene in the science laboratory, then it's going to be things like beakers and goggles, science equipment, Bunsen burner. So different scenes require different kind of vocabulary. So being able to use this precise vocabulary will actually paint a vivid picture for the reader. All right, step 3, choose vivid language. What do you mean by vivid? Why use force when you can use salient? Why use tempestuous instead of violent? Why not miserly instead of cheap? So choice, okay, so this is called word choice, all right? Or diction. So your choice of word is very, very important because such choices form a very, very clear image in the mind of the reader. All right. And it's often nuanced meanings that serves one. Okay. So how vivid, because by using very vivid words, it makes it more clearer. So if you look at this picture down here, can you see all the apples are not colored, but this particular one is being colored. So is to make your writing stand out. All right. Vivid language to make your writing stand out. Use your senses. So when we talk about senses, we are looking at how the thing smelled, felt, sounded, tasted, or looked. So just now when I described about a woman coming in, I described the sound, the heels made. I described the smell of a perfume. I haven't even gone to felt, tasted, or looked. But that is some way how you draw the reader into your world, where you create a mental image. Step 5 is, what were you thinking? If you can describe emotions or feelings related to your topic, you'll connect with the reader on a deeper level. Many have felt crushing loss in their life or ecstatic joy or mild complacency. Tap into this emotional reservoir to achieve your full descriptive potential. So, for example, when I said the lady walked into the room, all right, I could hear her sobbing even as she walked. So you're tapping into emotions. I wonder why she's crying or what has upset her really. That is what I heard, the sobbing cry. As she walked in, I could see her tear-stained face. There was still one teardrop trickling down her right cheek, caressing her soft lips. You know what I mean? So it's about creating this image so that your reader can visualize. Step 6, leave the reader with a very, very clear impression. Hang on. All right. One of your goals is to evoke a very strong sense of familiarity and appreciation in the reader. So if your reader can walk away from the essay craving the very pizza that you just described, then you're good. If I'm able to describe something to you, for example, the last chocolate bun that I ate, and it makes you want to eat the chocolate bun, I've achieved my goal of describing it well. All right. So make sure that you're able to evoke some kind of emotion in your reader, because if you don't evoke it, then you've not written it well. Be organized. It's very easy to fall into incoherent rambling of emotion. Make sure there is a logic and an order. All right. So make sure that there is a flow in your essay. And I would like to use the word logical flow in your essay. You may say, oh yeah, there is a flow, but it could be an illogical flow, yeah? So make sure there's a logical flow in your essay. You must strive to present a very organized and logical description if the reader is to come away from the essay with a very cogent sense of what you're trying to describe. All right. So right now, you may pause the video, but what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to write 250 to 350 words about, especially about 55 minutes for this section, about describing your favorite place. So that's what you're supposed to do. But before that, let me just show you a quick video. All right, this was about describing your favorite place. And what you saw the video was about a video on describing their favorite place. Sorry, the camera is taking some time to adjust. All right, so if you would like, I would encourage you to take maybe about 20-30 minutes to just go and plan and write an essay on describing your favorite place. All right, so spend some time. Don't just go through this video. Stop, pause this video, go and write a short, at least about 2 or 3 paragraphs on your favorite place. All right, and once you've done that, then you can come back to this video and then we will continue. All right. So I hope you have done that. Let's continue. All right, so this is just a sample essay, but let me read through and highlight certain things. All right, so this is about sample essay 1. My favorite place is a cozy beachside cafe where time slows down and relaxation takes center stage. The moment I step onto the sandy shore, a soothing sense of calm engulfs me. The rhythmic sound of the crashing waves, the salty ocean breeze, the seagulls soaring overhead create a serene symphony that rejuvenates my weary soul. As I sit on a wooden deck chair sipping my favorite coffee, I watch as the sun birds adieu, offering a breathtaking view of the horizon painted in hues of orange and pink. The sanctuary allows me to reflect, unplug, and simply be present in the moment, a haven where my worries melt away and my spirit finds solace. All right, so immediately she first starts off by saying, where is this place? All right, and then why? So this is very important when you're describing your favorite place. Firstly, tell me when and why. And then after that, use your senses. What do you see? This is the sound. All right, and sorry.